Okay, I've chilled enough now. Now we can maybe start focusing again and enjoying. Maybe less AoEs. How about? Oh, that hits here? The fuck? It's here? How? Okay. Well, good fight, Elianne. Yeah, that was easily the best boss in the game for sure. It's even better than Pieta, yeah. But that's probably because it's fucking Pieta skinned, so that's probably why. But then again, mechanically speaking, that was the best boss in the game. However, I like Pieta more because that's an original fight, while this is just another reskin fight of her, but just, you know, there's more, you know, that's about it. It's basically just Pieta, but just more complicated. That's not what I thought I had in my hand, okay.
Ages of disappointment and shame, but finally now, in you, my efforts rewarded and her will achieved. Oh, precious Elianne.
Wait, I forgot to fucking upgrade my... Oh, fuck me. Oh wait, no, the game doesn't give me the option. How do I upgrade my Sanguinetics to max? When Pieta's not here. I guess I don't.
And so that which liberate only, chosen bearer until her embrace.
Olian Wither split. Wait, Elianne does not have any spells for this? Well, one level of maxing on this build, I guess. Where is... Yes, here. I think that's it then, yeah. Yep, that for sure is the best boss in Lords of the Fallen, for sure. Not as good character as Pieta, but I mean, I guess they are the same character because I read the lore there on her armor and weapons. So apparently Pieta was an orphan born, or a born of like umbral, same as the boy here, who Harrower Dervla was also covering over. And then when she was taken in as an orphan, she was told a lie of what she was and what she was meant to do from a very early age. And because she never really knew her true nature and her true power, she was able to be molded for the purpose of the Hallowed Sentinels, for her power to be used for good, I guess you could say, in quotations, instead of her withering away into the depraved monstrosity that we just met in her true form. Also, that's definitely not what I'm supposed to do. I am missing one person here on the line, am I? Wait, am I supposed to kill Molho? Wait, I think I'm supposed to kill Molho next. What now? Yeah, definitely not here yet. Where Elianne? Or maybe the last pillar. Last pillar. Yup. Well, there is one next to his right still, but not sure if that's gonna be also filled. Why can I enter Mother's Lul from him now?
You have proven yourself, child. Now ferry them home, enact our mother's will. So long have I awaited your embrace.
This truly is the ending where literally every person dies. Okay, before we continue fully forward... Actually... Ah, fuck it, let's do it. What? Or she must feed, is that it? Yeah. It's quoting the intro of the game. So is this the true canonical ending of this game? Because of that. I guess at this point, I should probably give my 2 cents about this game now on a different playthrough. Now, first of all, on my first playthrough of this game, I wasn't able to even stream the game, basically. The performance felt too inconsistent most of the times that I felt that I should even try to have like a consistent session, one after another, of playing the game on stream. So instead of what I did is I just played it in bits off stream, here and there, and eventually finished it. And that experience was very... what's the word? It was a very patchy experience of this game. But this felt a lot more, well, obviously normal. I did it in like 5 days, obviously, so I played it normally this time, and the experience was mostly frustrating, honestly. Like, this game's combat, enemy encounter, and, well, I guess I can't really complain enemy density. The reason as to why I put the enemy density modifier on is because I wanted to experience the game's enemy density close to what it used to be. Because I thought that it would serve me better if I experienced the game's enemy density the way that it was always intended from the release, rather than how they have kept patching the game and making it easier throughout the patches with the enemy density changes. So I figured that I would want to test the game the way that I experienced it the first time, or roughly very close to that. Now, was that a dumb idea? Possibly. Do I regret that? No. I think it was a fine choice. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna complain about the enemy density, because I intentionally modified it. But then again, if I don't say anything about the enemy density either, the game shipped day 1 patch with the enemy density of what you saw on this game, on this playthrough. So is it wrong if I complain about it? Because this is how they literally shipped it as a release product. So obviously there was too many enemies in this game. The enemy encounters are fucking infuriating beyond belief. It's always some big corridor with a ranged enemy poking you, and then it's a bunch of melees, and then somebody ambushes you at the same time. It's literally every single encounter in the game is like that. Like, it gets on your nerves so fucking much when it's just rinse and repeat the same fucking shit. It's so annoying, the progress in this game. And this is a very big, like, comparison to games that have a massive majority of enemies and not really like a big emphasis on good boss fights, and have the same kind of like progression as this game does. So Dark Souls 2 is something that people always compare Lords of the Fallen 2023 for. And the massive difference between Dark Souls 2 and Lords of the Fallen 2023 is that in Dark Souls 2, the areas feel very different from each other. There is a massive vibrance in the difference of areas in Dark Souls 2. It never feels like it gets stale in Dark Souls 2 when you progress from one area to another. it always feels exciting, new and refreshing when the scenery changes so much. But in this game, it always feels so like dark, gloomy, and so like desperate when you're like trying to progress from one area to another in this game. That's kind of the best way to put it, is that it feels like what's the word? You feel this like sense of dread almost when you go from one area to the next. There's never points of like reprieve in this story when you play through the game normally. There is never retrieval. There's never respite. It's constantly just one annoying area filled with shit encounters and massive enemy density to the next. There is never points where you just get to like take it in a little bit and just kind of like enjoy like the scenery or like the areas, you know? There's no like calmness in this game. And that is something that Dark Souls 2, or actually there's another word for that as well. There's no like charm in this game. The charm in this game is it's the graphic style is the charm in this game. But in Dark Souls 2, it's the NPCs and the areas where the charm is in Dark Souls 2. It's the NPCs, areas, and the ambient music in Dark Souls 2 where the charm comes from. It's literally just the existence of your character and yourself when you play through that game that is just the calming factor. It never feels like you're like dreading or like desperate in Dark Souls 2 exactly. It always feels, whenever I have played Dark Souls 2, even on the very first playthrough, I always felt that the world of Dark Souls 2 was calming, charming, and vibrant with life, despite of what the premise of the game is, you know? But with this game, even though people compare Dark Souls 2 to this game so often, this game is almost devoid of all of the positive things that Dark Souls 2 has in it, that make it for people like me who enjoy Dark Souls 2 a lot, not enjoy this game. And that's without even getting to the gameplay. Like, I haven't even talked about how clunky the gameplay in this game is, how like counterintuitive, like the attacking and the rolling, the reverse fucking rolling in this game when you complete an action, how infuriating all of that shit is in this game. The animation stalls after you do an attack in this game or heal or something. It is actually like almost intentionally designed to annoy the player. Like, it just feels like you're playing sometimes from the moon after you complete an attack. Like, you attack, you try to roll spam, you try to like run, you try to turn your character, you try to switch your attack to the next one. It just feels like it's not responsive, you know? It just feels like it's out of your control just by a bit. And that just adds to the frustration of the experience that you feel in this game. That you add on top of the encounters, the enemy density, the devoid of charm in areas and the NPCs in this game most of the time, the complete fucking nonsense of what the NPCs spew at you a lot of the time when you just fucking talk to them or something, just adds to the fucking confusion and the depravity of this world that you fucking try to experience. It's so like, it feels also like out of touch, you know? That's a really good starting class. But yeah, I think those are my thoughts of this game in short. I usually talk for a lot longer amount of time when I rate these games, but I have already played this game before and I already talked a lot about this game then, so... But yeah, those are my thoughts about this game. They mostly align with what I said last time when I played this game on my first playthrough. But I guess the big question, what I did not exactly answer yet, is, did I enjoy this playthrough more than my first playthrough? And the answer to that is yes. Infinitely more. Like, if this was my first playthrough of this game, and not the experience that I had on the release, like first couple weeks when this game came out, I think I would have probably rated this game higher, and I would probably rate also more fondly remember this game than I do nowadays. I still don't think that this is... It's so harsh for me to say that this game is not good. It really is. I don't want to say that this game is not good, but honestly, I don't think this game is good. I really, really, really do not think that this game is good with everything that's... or with how it does everything. It's not just one or couple things that are just amiss with this game. It's just a big collection of just everything that is just not done good at this game. There are some things that this game nails very much correct though. And one thing that this game nails very nicely is ambience. The ambience of areas in this game, just like the atmosphere of areas, is very good in this game. It's on the same level as like Bloodborne from Software on the PS4. Like Bloodborne has the best atmosphere of all of the Souls-like games before this one, and even with this game's existence, I think it either is equal in atmosphere to Bloodborne, or it is even better. Like, that is something this game does very well. The areas just, like, you just feel how they feel, you know? It's easy to, like, immerse yourself with what you are seeing with this game's world. It is very gripping in that way. And then another thing that this game does very correct is the music. This game's soundtrack, both ambient soundtrack as well as boss soundtrack, is very good. A lot of it can be a little muted down, but if you increase the music volume, there is some very good tracks in this game. Loved most of them, if not every single one. Then what else is good in this game? Well, I mean, obviously the leveling in this game is done pretty much the same exact way as in Dark Souls in Elden Ring. Follows pretty much the exact same formula to a T, almost. Oh yeah, the casting in this game is really nice, yeah. The hold L3 button to cast, like, I totally get behind this one. Like, this is one of the only gameplay introductions in this game that is done well, but there's problems with this as well. One very big problem with this is that it's very laggy at times. Like, if you use like another ability and then you try to instant cast, sometimes your character is just gonna like heal instead. So example, I hit like this and then I spam the attack or the lamp square, so it's gonna bring up the casting staff or catalyst, but instead of doing that, it sometimes heals on my character or just attacks or something. It just sometimes ignores the input, but you know, it just feels like it's not intended, obviously. Like, it's just a bug at that point. But yeah, that's one thing that is done well, but it's buggy, you know? It's just bug fixed. Then what else is done well? I mean, spells are mediocre. Spells and attacks are honestly very lazy in this game. They look very cool, but they follow the exact same formula on each and every one of them. In fact, they follow the same formula so much between the classes of these spells that it's basically just reskins of each other. I'm gonna give examples of that as well here, so that you guys get what I mean. So, you know this conflagration spell, this here? Now I'm gonna show you something crazy. I'm gonna change this ring to a ring that allows me to cast also radiant spells. Oh, you can't stack them, I see. Fuck. Oh wait, no, I actually can. Wait, I need to change this one. So if I use that, I can use all the classes now. Yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna show you something really crazy here. So let's go to radiant spells. I'm gonna take Lucent Beam. So this is a radiant spell that does this. Consistent burst radiant like damage, like that. Now, if I go to Inferno and I choose this spell, guess what happens? Same exact thing, different visual. Doesn't go as far, probably. Big deal, whoopsie-doo. And then we go to Umbral. And then we choose Pallid Pile. Guess what that does? Guessed correct. Now, one argument as to why the spells, like, there is literally countless examples of the spells that do the exact same thing. Like, you know, it's like kind of normal game design to, like, design spells and attacks in a way where a certain class does not simply have, like, the best of, like, something. So, like, example of that would be, imagine that the Radiants only had the best, like, spam range spells. Then Inferno would feel too shit with the spam range spells of what we have here with the Fireball Throw compared to, like, the Piercing Light and Flare on, like, the Radiant spells and so on. So it's meant to be, like, more fair between the classes by having the system work like that instead. But what that does, unfortunately, is that it means that a lot of the spells that you get are not exciting, because you already know what you are pretty much getting when you find a new spell. You kind of test it and then you're like, ah, so it's this spell, but instead of Radiance now it's Inferno, ah, got it. And then you get another spell and, you know, same fucking thing, you know? It's like they aren't inventing something new and exciting. They do the same exact thing with weapons as well. I'm gonna give another example of weapons now for this. So, let's see, let's take an ultra great sword that I can use one of them. So this is a grand sword with fire, inferno, whatever. So with this weapon, horizontal, and then I have a combo attack that catches the enemy. And then I have another combo attack that is just low and does a lot of damage, right? And then my two-handed R1s, both are horizontal slashes. One-handed, same thing, horizontal slashes that cover a big area. Now, can you guess what the moveset for a glaive is? As one example. Let's take any glaive type weapon. Horizontal slash that covers a big area. Then we have some thrust. And then we have a horizontal slash that covers a big area on the combo attack. And then we have another one on the two-handed. And then, if I go to axe movesets, let's say, like Grand Axe, guess what we have here? A horizontal slash that covers a big area. And then we have some thrusts. And then we have more horizontal slashes that cover a big area. Like, what I am saying here is that I feel like the movesets in this game between the classes of weapons, they don't have enough variety feel on them, like they do in Souls games. Like, it doesn't distinctively feel when you use the weapons in this game that a certain class's weapon is just strictly better for a different use. It just feels like it just comes to your own preference of what you feel like you like looking at when you play the game. Or swinging, more so than the actual practical use of what you are using the weapon for. Now, I feel like the reason as to why they made such a uniformity with the weapon swings and movesets is because of what you fight in this game. So much of this game is just clearing out masses of enemies and killing, like, massive encounters, and the enemy density is out the fucking ass, and, you know, so and so. So because there has to be so many enemies, every weapon has to have such a, like, samey moveset so that no weapon moveset feels like it's too bad for, like, leaving a big group of enemies or killing a single enemy, like single strong boss, you know? So that's why they had to make the movesets on the weapons feel so similar to each other. So that all of them feel viable in both the situations, killing a big group of enemies or killing one strong enemy, no? Very important with this game. But that also means that it doesn't feel like the weapons are as unique. It just feels like they are bland. You know, they are pretty bland with their movesets. And then if we get to the other movesets, then all of the weapons in the same class of weapons, they share the exact same moveset apart from some boss weapons that have some unique moves. So, when it comes to movesets, it's actually really boring in this game. Very boring. Where's that one ring I was using? This. Yep, that's just like, I don't know what I'm rambling at this point. There's so many bad things I could say about this game, but I did say good things. Atmosphere, ambient music, music in general, how casting is done in this game with this L3 mechanic. This is very nice. And what else? Yeah, that's about it. Everything else is either mediocre, a miss, semi-decent possibly, or decent or bit over decent, or just downright bad, and some even horrible. That's about it. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for me though. Now, as to when I am gonna play Black Myth Wukong on stream, which I will, by the way, start from the start again. I have not decided, however, if I'm gonna play the game with English voice acting or Chinese voice acting. Because the thing with English voice acting compared to Chinese is that for that kind of game, for the atmosphere, it would be better if I use Chinese. However, here's the big kicker. It is significantly harder to enjoy the action that is happening on the screen if I do not audibly or subconsciously know what the characters say on my screen is, if I don't, or when I don't have to like read the subtitles. Okay, I just made that incredibly hard to understand. Okay, so here's the thing. If I cannot subconsciously understand what the characters on the screen are saying, and I have to read the subtitles instead, it makes like immersing myself to what I'm experiencing harder, because I have to take my eyes off the action and the feel of everything to read what the character is saying on the subtitle instead of just understanding it in my head, you know? And that's the reason as to why I played games like Nier Automata as well, which, you know, the original dialogue for that game is also in Japanese, but I played the game in English, obviously. And the reason for that is because I need to be able to subconsciously understand what the characters say so that I can more so immerse myself on what they feel. Because I also feel what they say, because I can just subconsciously know what they say by understanding the language. That's why I use the English voice acting in that game. And that's probably the same thing I'm gonna do with also Stellar Blade as well, when I get to playing that game. And yes, I will play Stellar Blade as well, but I have quite the backlog before playing that game. So we'll get to that at some point. And when I do, I'm sure I'm gonna love that game. I have never heard anything bad about it. The game is apparently incredible and I cannot wait to play it, but there's many other games to play too. Hopefully by the time I start playing it, it's not gonna be already PC ported, because if it is, then I'm just gonna sell my physical copy and I'm just gonna sell the physical PS5 disc and just buy it on PC at that point. Because my PC is now powerful enough where that I will pretty much guaranteed always get only better performance on PC in everything. Except if the port is like really fucking horrible. Like what would be a good example of that in my current library? Well, Lords of the Fallen does not run better on PS5. Let's make that sure. That is definitely not true. I mean, does it run better than my current setting? Actually, no. Not even my current settings maxed with stream on. No, absolutely not. It's just gonna run worse quality as well and fucking 60 frame rate at best. So no, absolutely not. Yep. Ghost of Tsushima actually is something that I also need to replay, as well as God of War Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok I played on 30 FPS on the PS4, and that was amazing experience, but 30 FPS makes it it makes animation cancelling very difficult. In fact, it makes it almost nigh impossible in combat. So that's the main reason as to why I went back to play the God of War 2018 instead on PC, is because I can actually animation cancel with 60 FPS. That's like one very big thing. So yeah, 60 FPS will be very nice with PS5, but then again, God of War Ragnarok is coming to PC in like fucking 3 days, so maybe I sell the physical copy as well and just buy it very cheap at some point on like a Christmas sale or something when we get that point. Actually, high likelihood just about do that, yeah. We'll see. But Ghost of Tsushima is another one. I could sell the physical copy I have of PS4 version of it and just buy it on PC as well. I could do that. Or I could just play it 60 FPS, upgrade it to PS5 graphics. I can always do that. Both options would be fine. On the PS5 I get 60 FPS, but on the PC I would probably get like a... I mean, I would be literally sitting on a high refresh experience at that point, like maxed graphics on like 140 FPS or more probably, yeah. So that would be insanely good for that game, obviously. But yeah, I think I'm gonna stop now, so... Black Myth Wukong is coming at some point. I might actually finish reading the novel before I get back to that game. But the novel is indeed very long though, so maybe I find like a shorter version of it or something. But the version of the novel that I was reading was fucking 1200 pages long or something. Actually 1300 I think it was. Point is, it's very long. Am I gonna read the whole thing before I continue that game? I don't know if I have the tenacity to do that, to be honest. I read some of it again. Like, the world of Journey to the West is very vibrant. Like, Black Myth Wukong has probably the absolute best, like, premise possible that they can set for their game that I have ever seen anywhere. Like, based off that book alone. Like, there is so many fucking things that they can show in that game because of the material that it's made out of, that it is absolutely, like, mind-boggling how many cool things that they can show in that game. And I cannot wait to see what's in it. So fucking sick. But yes, I'm gonna go now, actually, this time, so... Good night.